Oh, they'll be calling you a radical, this historic, incredible, insane heat bubble. The heat dome, they're calling it. Kevin Blanch started calling that in 2011 and 2012. I mean, this epic acute catastrophe going right out of the Fukushima meltdowns. I mean, it's right there. It's so obvious. It's as obvious as the scars across my face. So CBS is using Kevin Blanch's language. The heat dome over the Northwest. This heat bubble has been over the western United States since Fukushima happened. My spiral jetty video, you go to my trailer video, that's 2012. Shows you how acute radical, in symphony with the radical acute tide pool collapse, in symphony with the radical acute salmon. Let's talk salmon. I just look at the stillhead numbers. 1,200 in the Columbia for the year. The big run has already started. Started last week. They're not getting shit. And remember, this is no gill netting. This is very, very limited fishing. And the gill netting's out in front of the dams. And this is a fucking catastrophe. 114 in fucking Portland today. Are you kidding me? 104 in Portland? It was 116 somewhere in Canada today. Oh, fucking nuts. Eugene was 112 yesterday? I'll tell you, the Olympic trials are going on. The track got to be 150 degrees on the track twice. They're running it at night now. They're waiting until it has to go down to finish it up. What a metaphor for the 2021 Fukushima games. These suns are fucking hot. I mean, again, scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're stumped, they're perplexed, they're bewildered. This is a fucking catastrophe. All foretold by son of Cassandra, Kevin Blanch. Full-blown out nuclear meltdowns never happened before. And what has the world done? You're telling me for every action, there's a reaction. This is the greatest action in human history. 6 suns, actually, burrowed in the Pacific Ocean. Nothing. I see Sanjay Gupta is doing Jeopardy. Now you think about that. Sanjay Gupta was at Fukushima, Japan. He's a practicing neurosurgeon who should be in handcuffs and locked up. That piece of dog shit. Now remember, Alex died of cancer. So he's in Fukushima, him and Anderson Vanderbilt. They're screaming, Fukushima meltdown. Should we come home? Should we come home? 6 days. Meltdown, meltdown, meltdown. He gets home 2 weeks after he gets home. Sanjay Gupta, MD. I'm watching him. Saturday morning. Same day Liz Taylor died. He does this propaganda piece. Now remember, they were there. Saying Fukushima meltdowns, should we get out, And they had this Jim Welch from MIT. Oh, these aren't meltdowns. Arnie Gunner shit, this is hydrogen blast. Chris Busby saying, oh, the solution, it will dilute Pacific Ocean's big fucking pathetic fuck pieces that, well, criminals. But this guy's a practicing MD. He should be locked up. You think about the ironies of it. Alex dies of fucking cancer. And this fucking, he's an MD who, fuck, you know how many people he's responsible for killing? The cover up of Fukushima? 2 weeks. Sanjay Gupta, MD. He brings in this kid from Michigan. Well, I gotta tell you, I had rheumatic fever and I was laying in my bed when Chernobyl happened. And I was all scared and thinking it was fucking 3 eyeballs and so. I went over there as I got older and I found that there's nothing wrong at Chernobyl. It's perfectly good and fine. I'm a young artist. Oh, I ever find that motherfucker. It gets better. Then he brings a doctor from Japan on the show. Well, and she uses the 11-year-old metaphor. You know, that's Sudoku folding in 1,000 paper cranes, which, by the way, I got to hold one of those cranes. No gay hanger. One of the original ones. And then that's a big story. Utah leukemia victim gets a hold. She folded 644 and then died. She died at 11 years old. I found my best friend died after the bombs at 11 years old, she says, of leukemia. But I found out radiation's not bad. I found out later in life as a doctor, as an oncologist, radiation's good. It doesn't hurt, it saves people. And he goes on this propaganda fucking shit about Fukushima's nothing, blah, blah, blah. I went crazy. CNN pulled down the transcript off all their sites, whatever. I fucking screamed and yelled about it for fucking a year and a half. Finally, somebody inside from CNN says, here. I put it up. It's on my website, Blanche Schwartz. I fucking put it up there. I did video after video. The fucking piece of shit. My uncle's a practicing neurosurgeon. I asked him about it. He says he should be in prison. He's doing Jeopardy. I want you to think about that. Alex fucking dies of fucking pancreatic cancer. Oh, no, nuclear fallout doesn't fucking cause cancer. I want you to think about that. At least 3 full-blown out core meltdowns. Never happened before. Suns, burning to zero. This heat bubble, the hottest substance in the history. So hot that they send robot after robot that can handle 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Can't get near it melting. Lake Barrett to Leslie Stahl in 60 minutes on day 3,020 or so. It took 60 minutes, 3,000 days to tell you what Kevin Blanchard told you the first time. This meltdown, these are nuclear meltdowns. These are full-blown out meltdowns. They're lying. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody it was one meltdown. They're going to push them into the fucking Pacific Ocean. It's going to blanch the Pacific Ocean. It's going to boil it. It's going to cook it. It's going to take out the fucking plankton. It's going to big fish eat little fish. It's going to kill it. The Great Pacific Genocide, I named it very early. I named it FUKTONIUM. It's a plasma. It's a gas. It's pushing in. Storms are going to rise up. It's going to form a heat bubble over the western United States. The Great Salt Lake is the barometer right here. I live on the edge of the Great. It's the barometer for the western United States drought. Perfect level. It's what fucking wipe out cloud. It's going to cause a fucking heat bubble. A heat dome over the western United States. It's going to wipe out the tide pools. It's going to the salmon will collapse on Q in 2016. Still had started to collapse in 2012, 30, because they go to sea 1 to 2 years. Started happening quickly. They're down 90%, not dams. I mean, some of these record returns on the Columbia, and then 2016, everybody's laughing at me. I'm like, no, wait till 2016. The average Chinook salmon go to sea for 5 years. They'll collapse in 2016. ODFW, WFW, with gill netting, had projections of 1.7 million. That's with gill netting. So you can double that, 3.4 million they project. You know, that's what the numbers they were getting. Their data's so good, their models are perfect. I said, no. I put mine at 680,000. Came in at 600. Next year, they put theirs at 4 million if you use the gill netting number. I put mine at 480,000. Comes in at 480,000. Next year, so on. They finally pull gill netting. They're still fucking crashing. The copper's running at this. I mean, you go up and down the Fraser, the Rogue, the Willamette. I mean, Portland's 118 or 114 degrees. Or what? The Willamette, somebody says, running at 83 degrees. If it's running at 83 degrees, every single fish in it's dead. The smolts, the little fries, forget it. They fucking boil to death at 78 degrees. They're dead. Talk about a fucking climate change. You fucking likes climate change. You cute rat. The Spy Spiral Jetty videos fucking prove it. The Spiral Jetty right there, those perfect level. The mosquito collapse, the butterfly, all acutely in the last 10 years, but nobody wants to hear it from me. To nausea, way past the nausea. My heart goes out to everybody in fucking Oregon, up there in the Northwest. Brutal. They're not climatized for this. A lot of people don't even have air conditioning. 114. Oh my God. This is again, I cannot I named this the Great Western United States Drought. The Great Western United Heat Bubble Dome in 2012, before it happened. So it's going to cause a heat bubble over the Western United States. The plasma is going to pour in this gas. They're suns. They're suns. The sun can give you cancer from 93 million fucking miles away. We have probably 6 of them burrowed in Leslie Stahl, Lake Barrett. I know Lake Barrett personally. Well, Lake, where are these cores? See right there? They're burrowed in. We can't get them. We send in robot after robot. Can't get at them. Where are they at? Pacific Ocean's right there. Well, cleaning this, fixing this is like going to the moon. Way bigger than that. This has never happened before. So you have these bringing star power to Earth, Livermore, California. That's their logo. It amazes me is how the world will stand down to the nuclear energy crimes. 75 years to just murder this fucking planet. And the whole world just stands down to these fuckers. It is incredible. Now they've got the internet. They've got me kettled in, smashed. I haven't had a 3 years ago, they just fucking wiped me out. I mean, that's their answer. They own the internet. They own you. They own your children. They own the fucking world. I mean, just annihilate the... That's... Well, fuck, they're glad. They love it. Maybe they can... Vengeance will be ours. These fucking Zionist fucking pig motherfuckers. Sick. It's sick. Worshipping Bezos fucking Gates. They're the same... they own the nuclear reactors. Every single word I said has happened. Every fucking bit of it. First you hypothesize knowledge. 10 years of field work. It's going to give you cancer. Oh, I got cancer. 2 months to live. What a fucking journey. What a 10 years. My heart goes out to you, everyone up there. It's fucking brutal. You know, I know Tim fled to the coast. He has nowhere to park. All the RV parks are fucking full. People, you're in Linda, fuck, you'll fry in your fuck. 150 degrees on the fucking track. Are you? Whoa. What a metaphor for the Fukushima 2021 fucking leukemia games. I see. Who was it announced today? Lillard said he go. Don't fucking go. Don't fucking go. I'm telling you, don't go. Well, I guess you think all you're billionaires, you're above it. No, you're not above it. Unfucking real. Play back the tape. Kevin Blanche. March 12th, 2011. They're lying. They're lying. These are full-blown. This is a fucking nuclear meltdown. The media's going to go in propaganda mode every day. Fucking. They're going to push this fucking plutonium, this FUKTONIUM into the fucking Pacific Ocean. It's going to rise. These storms are going to rise up. It's going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States. The Great Salt Lake's going to go dry. Tide pool's going to wipe out. The salmon's going to climb. Cancer rates are going to fucking skyrocket. She's going to fight back. The Pacific Ocean, she's going to, I said it for years, she's going to fight back. She's going to come after the people. What do you think COVID-19 is? COVID-19 came from Fukushima. There's no fucking doubt in my mind. Oh, you don't think fucking nuclear fucking major meltdowns mutates? Fuck, it mutates everything it comes in contact. You're going to go surfing. Fucking degenerate, sick America. They're gone. Sanjay Gupta on Jeopardy. He should be fucking locked up. Oh, leukemia is good for you. I mean, radiation. A practicing neurosurgeon. Said I run it by my uncle, fucking, this is years ago, who is a practicing neurosurgeon. He says, oh my God, it's disgusting. The fucking guy should be locked up. And just think, Alex fucking died of fucking cancer. Oh, wow. What a spit in his fucking face. That every single fucking person out there, brother died, sister died, cousin fucking died, sister died. Fucking, my favorite's the NBA. You know, Shaquille O'Neal running his fucking mouth all the fucking time, yet his little sister dies of leukemia. Nothing. Nothing. So they're using Kevin Blanche's exact rhetoric. This heat dome over the... That's what it is. Where does it end? I don't know. I don't know. The smoking gun's the fucking salmon. We don't catch dead fucking tadpoles, Kevin Blanche and his army does. We don't catch dead humans in bone marrow transplant, Kevin Blanche does. He was almost one. We count every fucking salmon. By the way, I never use the word extinction. I use the word genocide. There's a few butterflies left. There's a few insects left. Cancer rates are up 38% in the last decade. Every single bit. You know, first you hypothesize knowledge, then you do the field work, then you defend your work. It released a plasma and a gas. It's never happened. Didn't happen at Mayak. Didn't happen at Santa Susana. Fucking didn't happen at Chernobyl. Didn't happen at fucking 3 Mile Island. Never happened. This is full blown out fucking meltdowns. Core meltdown. Not to mention the MOX fuel and the fucking spent fuel just blown all over hell. It's in the biosphere, which I named FUKTONIUM. It's a gas. It's a plasma. Not to mention my work on the trees. I'm like, this is going to get into these trees and you're going to get fucking spontaneous. The atmosphere is going to catch fire. Fuck. Fire marshals were saying we thought multiple people were working in networks over hundreds of square miles going, okay, this time I'll start it. Then we realized the power lines were arcing, whatever. The atmosphere was so toxic and there was something in the atmosphere, in the gas, that it caught fire. It's a plasma. It's a gas. It's exactly what it is. There's suns buried in the Pacific Ocean. It's FUKTONIUM. Talk about me on my Nobel Prize. I mean, FUKTONIUM trumps fucking plutonium. Trumps it all. And then you got politicians. Obama fuck covers it up. Trump covers it up. Fuck Biden. Oh, fuck, that make you sick. I don't know. Put me in code. I'm ready to play. One last rotten onion. Ooh. Okay. Metal butterflies. Unfucking real. Monterey Bay, it's a cliche. California's a theme park. Fuck. Starfisher museum piece. The great salmon. I mean, what a metaphor. First came the god of salmon. Then came, well, how will we live? The god of water says, I come. You can live in me. What a metaphor for fucking Oregon, Washington, for the great Northwest. I mean, salmon is the great Northwest. It's fucking unbelievable what's going on up there. Well, here too. My heart goes out to everybody in Oregon. You know, but come out of denial, fuckers. Mystified, baffled, stumped, curious, perplexed, doesn't get it in science. What I've done. I've proved it. I've proved it. It's FUKTONIUM. I lost on Jeopardy, baby. Sanjay Gupta should be fucking ashamed. Well, he deserves in a fucking prison cell. How did they do it? How did they do it? One by Jetstream, two by cable TV. It's the greatest event in human history. The Meltdowns of Fukushima, the greatest crime, is the cover-up of the said event. Chicken will come home with us. I don't know where we go from here. You know, just more debt. Get another PPP loan, all you fuckers, and just steal it and rob it and feed it. Or we destroyed our children's future. Oh, fuck, our future, fuck. Sad. Hang in there. Hang in there. You know. That's all I can do to keep waiting for you. I don't know. Thank you to everybody who's participated and helped out in the Post Ignorance Project. Stay in tune.